While we all love video games, we all get bored with them sometimes and just can't seem to find a game that truly catches our interest or holds our attention. If you know that feeling, no worries, I got you, because here are 7 super unique indie games with gameplay or mechanics that are just truly one of a kind. This is definitely just part 1, so let me know in the comments what are some indie games you think are really unique. I'm super excited to read all your recommendations. Cocoon is one of these games that I just couldn't put down because of how much it challenged my brain. It's a puzzle game with a mechanic I've never seen before or since. In Cocoon, you solve puzzles by placing an orb at the right spot. The twist is that you can enter these orbs, and what you'll find is a world inside it. However, in this world, you can find even more orbs, take them out of the orb you're in, or bring other orbs inside. Sounds complicated, but just think of it as Inception the game. This requires a high level of logical thinking and a good sense of orientation, which makes solving puzzles equally challenging and satisfying. But it gets even more complex because every orb has a special mechanic that comes with it. So, for example, carrying the red orb on your back reveals hidden paths you couldn't walk on if you held the blue orb. So it's all about discovering what influence placing one orb inside the other has on an orb and what orb you'll need to proceed. Generally there's no fighting, but on top of all their puzzle glory, there are boss encounters that incorporate mechanics of the orbs or biomes you just discovered. They are great as they function as a contrast to the overall calm and otherworldly atmosphere. Cocoon is a game like nothing else, with its unique approach to puzzles, its looks, and captivating atmosphere, and I highly recommend playing this if you're just remotely interested in puzzle games. It's truly one of the best I've played in years. I rarely hear people talk about Storyteller, although it's one of the most fun indie games of the last 5 years, and also pretty unique. In this game, you have to tell the stories. You pick a chapter and get a short description of what should happen. This can be something simple like Adam lives alone, finds love and dies happy, or something more vague like a broken heart is healed. What you need to do is hit that subscribe button if you enjoy videos about indie games. Wait, that's not the script, hold on. Here. What you need to do is place the elements you have, like people and scenes, into the panel to tell the story. The thing is that different combinations of characters and scenes lead to different outcomes, so it's your task to find the right combination. I mean, that's it, that's the game, but the concept is so simple yet unique that it just had to be on this list. Figuring out what happens if you place a character here and change a scene there, and what funny things can happen while doing that, it's just so much fun. And while the concept is simple, some of these chapters can be really challenging. The result is a game that requires creativity and simply thinking outside the box, making this one of the most unique and best puzzle games I've ever played. I mean, I wish it was longer, that it had more chapters, but what's there is an absolute joy to play. And it's super cheap to get all the time, so no excuses. What is left to say about Balatro that hasn't already been said, right? Balatro's success is based on its uniqueness, and rightfully so, because this is just the best. For the 12 people on the planet that haven't heard of Balatro yet, this is a poker roguelike in which playing poker hands gives you points. The twist is that these are not just standard poker cards. You get a set of jokers with different effects like a higher multiplier, more chips, or something bound to a condition. But that's not all. You also get planet cards that increase the effectiveness of your poker hands for the run. You can buy tarot cards that come with various bonuses like changing a card's color or adding special effects, just to name a few. But wait, that's not all either. You can earn money after each round, buy new jokers or booster packs with more cards, or vouchers to grant you permanent bonuses for your run. You thought that was all? No. Every 3 rounds there's a boss round, challenging you with a random negative effect that you have to get around. And on top of all that, you get to choose from several decks to start your run, each with a different focus, like the ability to play more hands or start with more money. All that creates a game so simple yet full of depth and complexity at the same time that it's definitely one of those cases of easy to learn but very hard to master. Balatro is rightly one of the best roguelikes and one of the most popular indie games ever. I spent over 100 hours playing this with my girlfriend. That's how captivating Blueprints is to me. In case you haven't heard of this game, Blueprints is a roguelike puzzle mix in which you need to uncover the mysteries of the strange Mount Holly Manor. And it is strange because the rooms in this house are changing, depending on how you build it. So basically you come across a door and get to choose 1 or 3 rooms, each with a different effect, amount of doors, and resources to find. I won't spoil anything, as figuring out all the puzzles is the best part and most important thing of Blueprints, but as you explore the manor, it gets clear early on that you need to find the mysterious Room 46. Where it is and how you get there, yeah, that's up to you to find out. Just let me tell you, things are not as they seem. It's not just a matter of carving your path somewhere. It's more about examining every room you build up to the last detail. And it's about taking notes, combining clues, and carefully recreating the story of the manor and the family of the protagonist. All of that may sound vague, but trust me, the less you know, the better. All I will say is that Blueprint started off slow and weird for me, and then almost dropped it. But luckily I showed it to my girlfriend and she was hooked. We were constantly surprised by the things we found out and what the game turned out to be. It was mind-blowing. And all that made this one of the most unique gaming experiences I've ever had. So I think it has to be one of the most unique games I've ever played. If you like mystery and puzzle games, you should try this. I've talked about this game countless times on this channel, but once again, it just has to be in the video because, yeah, it's just super unique. This is once again a puzzle game where taking and using pictures is in the center of its gameplay. You can hold pictures in front of you, and with the press of a button, whatever is in the picture becomes part of reality. So it's all about identifying an obstacle, finding something in the environment that might help you, and placing the picture you took of that into reality. That way you close big gaps, make a wall disappear, that kind of stuff. The game gets even more interesting when things like the photocopier, batteries, or timed switches are introduced, and it also gets really difficult. At least I think that. The fact that the intricate puzzles are embedded within simplistically designed levels always managed to give me a feeling of control, like the solution to a puzzle has to be right in front of me, but I needed to be creative and take different perspectives on how to approach the puzzle, sometimes quite literally. The best part is that basically every single puzzle has multiple ways to solve them, and to be frank, that made me feel pretty smart. Viewfinder is a brilliant game that is often overlooked, but if you love puzzle games like Portal, you should give this one a try. It's incredible. Yeah, I'm just realizing how many puzzle games I have on this list today, but so what? These are all really unique. And so is this game. Baba Is You couldn't be more easy to explain. In every stage there are objects and boxes that contain words. These words combined set the rules for the stage, like Baba is you or Lava is defeat. Now, you have to push these word boxes around to create new rules, some that grant you access to whatever you need to do to win. And yeah, that's pretty much it to describe the game. Yet again, this is a simple concept, but the way these combinations of rules and the level design itself gets more complex makes it so challenging and immensely fun. The fact that there are countless word boxes means that there are countless rules and combinations of rules, which basically means limitless fun. So Baba Is You actually has 231 levels in the base game, and with the bonus content this goes up to a whopping 481 levels in total. Since the levels get pretty difficult later on, and I struggled with a bunch of them, I sometimes spend easily half an hour on one level. Multiply that by 481 and I personally have hundreds of hours gameplay ahead of me. But yeah, that's probably just me. Anyway, Baba Is You is a straightforward, creative, satisfying, and extremely fun game. If you're looking for something really unique, you just have to have this in your gaming library. At first glance, the Plucky Squire might be a Zelda clone. And yes, it is inspired by the series, but it's also its own thing, which is why it definitely deserves a spot on this list. In the Plucky Squire, you play Jot, a young adventurer on his journey to defeat the evil Humgrump. here comes the twist. This game takes place in a picture book and outside of it. So basically Jot and his friends are characters in this book. They go from page to page, find enemies, solve puzzles, and everything is narrated by a nice voiceover. But later, Jot gets kicked out of the book and finds himself in a 3D world, which turns out to be the room of the child reading this book. The concept not only is super fun, it also makes the gameplay varied and just keeps things fresh. And there's so much more variety from the core gameplay. While combat is mostly hacking your way through a bunch of enemies, which does feel a lot like Zelda, there are some cool mini-games that shake things up, like a boxing match with a honey bear, or using a bow against a horde of mosquitoes, and so much more which I won't spoil. This is what this game is all about, changing things up, offering variety, and simply surprising the player with things they don't expect. The 2D to 3D thing is just the tip of the iceberg, trust me. And that's why the Plucky Squire is one of the most unique indie games I've ever played, and I highly recommend this if you like being surprised by a game. This is just fantastic. Alright, that's the list. 7 indie games I think are absolutely unique. Remember, this is just part 1, so I know that there are some games missing here, but there will be a part 2. Let me know your favorite unique indie games in the comments and hit subscribe if you like. Alright, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.